What's up, what's up, what's up? It's John here from JJSC Tech. And yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a while. I've been doing a couple of things, dealing with a couple of clients, and I haven't been streaming. So I haven't been streaming in 2 weeks, and a lot has gone on. A ton of stuff went on, actually. So I'm here right now to catch up on what has been announced and the tariffs. That's the big elephant in the room. That's going to affect a lot of prices going forward. And we're going to kind of get into that because that can drastically affect how you purchase things going forward. So let's just get to the news first. Let me see something. Oh, something has switched. Something has switched. My overlays for my annotations have all of a sudden switched because I have updated. Yes, sir. There we go. Boom. So now if I was to turn this on okay, good. My annotations are back. My annotations are back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Focus, Canon. Focus. Now, a couple of things have dropped. Well, not really dropped, but more so has been announced. Let's start with Blackmagic. Now, Blackmagic is the biggest thing right now because they are getting the most traction because of what they announced. So let's not waste any time, let's just look at it. All right, so this is the Blackmagic website right here. Now everyone is talking about this right here, the Ursa. Well, sorry, the Pixis 12K. You get a 12K Pixis for $5,500. So this is pretty big. This is pretty good. as well. And you get in all these mounts, PL, lock-in EF, and L mount. How much dynamic range do they claim? Exceptional low light. Whatever. It's probably going to be like 13 stops of dynamic range. They're probably going to claim like 16 stops, but it's probably going to be closer to 13 stops of dynamic range. And also this broadcast Pixis, so it's just a Pixis with a handle with a microphone, as well as a viewfinder. So it's that nice camcorder feel for the Pixis as well. But me personally, I don't care about none of that. I'm looking at the 12K. So let me go to the tech specs. And yep, we're going to do the 12K. And let me try to increase this right here. Kaboom, so you can see it. All right, so these are the features. It can do 12K open gate at 40 frames per second, similar to what the Komodo was doing. 6K at 40 frames per second. So I guess that's a limitation of the processor that they have in there. So, I mean, they got to cut costs somehow. 12K, 16 by 9, 45 frames per second. So a 5 frame difference. 12K, 17 by 9 by 50 frames. This doesn't really affect me, really, because I shoot mostly, like 90% of the time, I shoot 24 frames per second. So it would be a problem if I was doing slow-mo in 24 frames per second because you need at least 48 frames. So I would have to shoot something like 17 by 9 in order to get that 48 frames per second. Because, you know, when you shoot slow-mo, you should double the frame rate. So when you bring it back down to normal in the timeline inside of your video editor, it isn't choppy. It's a smooth slow-mo. And 12K, 6.5, 6 by 5 up to 40 frames per second. And then you do 9K. But let's be honest, who is going to be shooting 12K? Might be some people, but I stream in like live locations, like conferences and churches and in different locations. I'm not streaming anything above 4K. I'm not even really streaming 4K. I'm mostly streaming 1080p. So 12K downscale to 1080p is going to be a very, very good 1080p. But I'm just speculating based off of the numbers. I'll have to get it in hand. I don't even know with the tariffs coming in right now. I don't even know if I'm gonna get this in hand. So yeah, so you see all the frame rates and etc. 23.98, that's my go-to. 24, 25, 29, 30, 50, 60. In order for you to get 60 frames per second, you're gonna have to come all the way down to 2.4 by 1 if you're doing 60 frames per second. But in 9K, you'll be able to get that 60 frames per second if you do 30 frames per second normally. So 60 frames per second, we'll be able to double it and get a good slow motion focus available using compatible lenses. Yes, they were showcasing as well autofocus. So the same thing that Red was doing with the app, like first time Red came out with autofocus, they were using the Red Control app in order to do autofocus. So I don't see that they're using, and I didn't see that they were using an app. It seems to be built in to the firmware. So Blackmagic is now doing autofocus. As cheap as Blackmagic is, entry-level cinema camera, they are now doing autofocus. And it looked pretty good in the presentation. Blackmagic is going to be a problem. I'm telling you, Blackmagic is going to be a problem. Let's see. Well, autofocus doesn't really matter to me because I use PL mount lenses, and I usually do manual focus because most of my lenses are cine glass. But for you, one man band guys out there that likes to do run and gun, this might be good news for you. Again, we're going off of paper right now. So once people start to get it in hand, and not the shills, I'm not talking about any of the YouTube shills that's going to say anything good because they're getting the paycheck. I'm talking about people that actually get the stuff in hand and really test it out and give you the real, the real, if it's good or bad, real world scenarios. So we got to wait on those guys. I mean, I can possibly get it and test it out as well. I just got to see what these prices are looking like. Because that's the next topic, or the topic that we're going to get into later, them tariffs. All right, so it has some good things like obviously a 12G connector, a one. Wait, is this full frame? I think it's full frame. I think the lens is a full frame lens. Yep, full frame. RGBW, so that same new sensor that's in the 12K and the 17K, they're using that same sensor. I don't know if it's the same exact sensor because they got to make money somehow, you know. But they're using that same technology and they're putting it into the Pixus full frame. So that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So the connectors that you get, you know, 12G SDI, one viewfinder, USB-C, data, kind of the similar things that you were getting with a regular Pixus. But you get a 10 gigabit Ethernet port, which is really dope. You get the same side screen and etc. I wish they came with V mounts or gold mounts built in, so that way you don't have to be using or spending extra money to get like an adapter, BPU to V mount, because V mounts will cause this camera to run much longer, especially if you're trying to use 12K a lot, because that is going to drain a lot of battery. And yeah, and let's get to the media. The media is you get 2 CF Express Type B card slots, which is really good. Which is really good because the Pixus, the original Pixus, let me see. The Pixus 6K, I think you only have 1 CF Express slot. No, you have dual CF Express Type B as well. Oh, my bad. So it's the same thing. Same thing. And you also get a 10 gigabit USB-C port for external media for Blackmagic Raw and H.264 proxy recording. Blah, 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 blah. And the codecs, all Blackmagic Raw. No ProRes. They are not paying Apple for ProRes in order to incorporate ProRes into their camera. And H.264 proxy, and that's 8-bit. So that's still a kind of a letdown with this camera. I mean, depends on who's using it, because people like myself, I use red. Like this is an OG Komodo right here. And I only shoot raw, red code raw. When I'm recording, that's the only thing I record in. I don't use ProRes. So even if red was only, if it only had red code raw, it wouldn't really bother me. But depending on other people, if they just need to have a quick turnaround, ProRes is very clutch. So pick a poison. If it's not for you, it's just not for you. Plus, I also do streaming, so I'm using the sensor of the red, which is really good. It's better than the Pixus. Well, the original Pixus. The red sensor is better than that, especially with the colors and etc. I'm not sure about the 12K, but that's a test that I will have to do. I would love to see it in a real-time environment, especially if I put like a Takina Vista Prime lens on there or a Dizio Catazoom. Yeah, I wanna see what it looks like. All right, you got networking, storage, and blah 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 blah. And yes, that's the Pixus. Okay, now the other thing that I was really excited about is the ATEM, the new ATEM G2. This thing right here, tech specs. Now, this is a beast. The reason I'm saying that this is a beast, oh my gosh, the tariffs has already kicked in. They have already kicked in. I mean, that's not as bad as I was thinking it to be, because just yesterday, if you came on Blackmagic's website, you would see that this would have been, hold on, can I do the Wayback Machine? Let's see. Blackmagic design. Let's just do a day. Oh. Let's do this one. This is the real Blackmagic design. And let's just try to go back one day so you can see the prices. All right, it's going to be a little slow. April 1st. Okay, so this is April 1st, 2025. Can I do... Oh, that's the furthest I can go to. Sheesh. I can't go back. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's do products. How about we copy and paste this right here? Copy. Paste. Hopefully it shows up. Dang. Dang. Well, that didn't work out. That didn't work out. I just wanted to show you that yesterday this was saying like $199. So with the tariffs, it brought it up to like $195, which isn't that bad. I thought it would have been way more than this. So the tariff prices are kicking in, because I think the Pixus 12K was actually just $5,000, but it's now $5,500 with the tariffs. So yeah, man, the tariffs is gonna make things a lot more expensive. So let's go through the specs of this thing. Now they changed the buttons. And as we see right here, yeah, right there. These buttons are the same buttons that you will find on the constellations, on the constellation. I prefer these type of buttons. A lot of people might like the previous buttons, but I didn't really like them because they're kind of like spongy and they're not as tactile. I like a nice tactile feeling button, because it's less room for error. Because someone could just accidentally swipe their hand and you know how it goes. I do like those buttons. And they have like knobs up here as well. there are knobs up here, and they have like dedicated buttons for certain things and etc. And a whole bunch of things that I won't be using anyways. Um, yeah. So let's get to the specs of this thing. Now, this thing is way more expensive than the regular ATEM ISO. And remember, this is not SDI. This is HDMI. So this is the cheaper version. So when they come out with the SDI version, it is going to be more than this. ATEM Extreme. All right, so this is the HDMI counterpart. And as you see, it's $12.95. But the G2 is $2,195. I mean, for what it does, it's still reasonable. I'll get to the reason for that. That's why it's still reasonable. But yeah, let's just get to the specs. So you get a total video inputs 9 instead of 8. So on all HDMI inputs and remote resources, a total of 4 outputs. So you get, I think they break it down as well. The outputs. You get aux outputs, which I don't use. I don't take the audio outside of the ATEM and take it anywhere. I don't, because I don't want the audio that's coming from the cameras or whatever. What I usually do is I just use this as a switcher. I don't use it as streaming. I don't stream with it. I have a separate computer for streaming, dedicated for streaming, and I just use this for switching. For audio, I would most likely use Dante, or I would use a separate equipment just for audio, whether that is a soundboard, but I don't really use too much soundboards either. That's a last resort. I would possibly, for like small gigs, I would use something like a Rodecaster. But for bigger events or more professional events, I'll even use something like the Apollo. Or if it's a lot of channels that are coming in, I'll use Dante. So I audio in this, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me at all. The webcam out, so you get 2 USB-Cs and 1080p. So I've heard a lot of people are kind of upset that this isn't 4K. Why are you upset? I don't know. I did a stream before and show you 4K is really expensive at like a marginal boost or of quality. If you get really good 1080p, you can beat a lot of 4K streams out there. I'm telling you, I promise you. You get a really good camera and a really good lens, really good lighting, it's going to look way better than many 4K or proclaimed 4K streams out there. 1080p is fine. 1080p is less resource heavy, and if you do it right, you won't have any issues. Now, the only benefit for 4K is if you are showing it on like a massive screen. 1080p blown up is not going to look that great. 4K comes in clutch. But for someone that's sitting at home watching it on even a 32-inch screen, 1080p is fine. It really is. You get one HDMI for multi-view, one webcam out. HDMI inputs, you get 8 of them. HDMI outputs, you get 3 HDMI outputs, which is good. So you can do one. The previous Extreme HDMI, you only had 2. So one for multi-view and one for is routable to whatever you want it to be. So now you have 3. So you have an extra one, which is good. But does that justify it costing $1,000 more? No, but we're not there yet. You get 3 HDMI program outs, which is good. So you can program all 3 of them to be whatever you want it to be. Audio. Now they did upgrade the audio. So they have 2 XLR combo with phantom power. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. 2 XLR, because the previous ATEM, you get that 1/8 jack, which is a mic jack, and it wasn't even balanced. So let me, before I just start saying stuff, let me just make sure. Tech specs, audio, input, output, audio. Yep. 1/8, 3.5 millimeter TRRS headphones, stereo, analog. And these weren't balanced. I am 85% sure that these weren't balanced. But with this XLR combo, for those who run audio inside of the ATEM, this is a good thing for you. This is a good thing for you because you can take an XLR out from a board and put it directly in to the ATEM if you do that. But the other thing that surprised me is MADI. They take MADI as well. So this is no longer a prosumer device. This is a professional device right here. This is a professional device. 1 BNC 32 channel MADI digital audio. That's crazy. So total outputs, 1 6.35 headphone jack, no time code, no reference. On the other side, you got control, internal Ethernet, computer interface. Now, no, before I get to that, right here, you got Ethernet. You get a regular 1 gig Ethernet streaming protocol and etc. But you also get a 10 gig connection. So I don't know what Blackmagic was on this year because they put in 10 gig Ethernet ports into everything right now. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. So that's pretty dope. Now, this is the thing I think justifies the price. This thing right here. This section with computer interface, this justifies the price. You get 2 USB Type C 3.1 Gen 1. I don't care about those. I don't care about USB-C, not too much. So it's for external recording, webcam out, software control, software updates, blah, blah, blah. But you see, you get an extra port right here. And this is Thunderbolt. Now, this is why it's worth the price. Because with this Thunderbolt, you can do fill and key video output. That's massive. Because previously, before, with even the Constellation, you had to get something like a deck link or a Ultra Mini Studio in order to do key and fill. This is now, everyone who does live streaming for like churches and etc. understands why this is such a big deal, especially in one device. You don't have to go and spend an extra $1,000 on the Ultra Studio or a deck link with a sonic enclosure. It all comes in this one device. That's big. That's massive. Now, me personally, I have to test it out. I always have to test. I can't recommend something just because of the paperwork. I have to test it out and see how practical it is, because who knows, they might limit something and they just might do something crazy and something dumb that would ruin your entire live stream production. So I want to test it out to see if it's the actual thing, to see if it fully replaces Ultra Studio or a deck link. But what I saw on the presentation, now they were using DaVinci, but I want to try this in like Pro Presenter and other live stream type of softwares, vMix and all that stuff for those who use PCs. This makes it worth the price by itself. Promise you, by itself, this makes it worth the price. Now, with all this stuff going on inside of this small body, I'm not sure about overheating. So I am not sure how this will work in a real life scenario with the like running the stream for like 5 hours. I'm not sure if a fan will spin up really loud, if it will freeze up. I'm not sure. It's a very new device. So these are things that you're going to have to test out in the field to see if it's actually worth it. Because the more things you put inside of a small body, the harder it works. So just imagine if a small body like this was doing all of this stuff, especially with MADI and with the XLR audio, XLR combo jacks, and the Thunderbolt for key and fill with 4K. This thing would have to have a crazy fan, and plus it will be much bigger. It'll be much bigger because remember, 4K is 4 times the pixels as 1080p, and you're gonna have to push 4K out of take 4K in 8 different HDMI ports, which is crazy, which is completely crazy. So yeah, so this is the back of it. This is how it looks. It looks like a regular Extreme, just with added things over here. Yeah, I can't wait for the SDI version of this. SDI version, I always go with the SDI version because all of my cameras have BNC connectors, SDI. And that's just how I roll, you know? So yeah, that's it. So it does the regular HDMI stuff, 1080p, 24 frames, 30 frames, 60 frames, you know, the regular stuff. It does 10-bit color, Rec 709, the regular stuff. Upstream keys, it's 4, still 2 downstream keys, which is fine. 2 DVEs, Loomer linear keys, all the regular stuff. If you're familiar with the ATEM, regular stuff. All right. So Blackmagic also came out with other things, a lot of other things. There's things like DaVinci Resolve 20, which has a lot of cool features as well. As you see, they're also selling the Pro Grip separately for just $160. The Pixis monitor, $325. This is one of the best monitors if you're buying a Blackmagic, because it's just integrated with the Blackmagic and is way cheaper as well. This is not small HD prices. I wonder how expensive small HD monitors will be as well. The Pixis 6,500. I think this also went up. I'm not Pixis. That's the Ursa. This is, yes, it did go up. Because remember, this used to be $2,000. I mean, what am I saying? This used to be $6,000. Or 6,000 and change. Now it's $7,025. It's all going up. Where's the other new stuff that they came out with? I probably have to. Yeah, DaVinci Resolve 20. A lot of cool stuff. Blackmagic Cloud. Not stuff that I really get into. Let's see. The Deck Link IP 100 gig. Okay, the Stream Deck. So there's a new Stream Deck shuttle, and this time it is 4K. Whew. 1700. Round it up. So you get a couple of cool things with the Stream Deck. I mean, and you get a built-in 7-inch LCD. This is going to be cool for people who use the Stream Deck a lot for recording, etc., and video playback. I don't know too much about it because I don't use Stream Decks, but for those who are into Stream Decks, you're probably happy. You're probably happy. This is not something I'll be getting to test out because this is not my avenue. I don't use Stream. I'm saying Stream Deck, Hyperdeck. Hyperdeck. My fault. The only Hyperdeck I use is the rack mountable Hyperdeck Pro, the one with the SSDs. I use that with my Constellation in order to record, and you can use 2 SSDs and 2 SD cards, so it has really good redundancy. So yeah, so that's it. That is it. Blackmagic is came out with some really good things. Blazar also came out with some nice anamorphic lenses as well. I don't know if they are. Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. All right. So the Blazar lens 50mm T1.8, 1.33 anamorphic lens. Look how small this is for an anamorphic lens. Look how small this is for an anamorphic lens. This is really good. And the thing is, you can also turn it vertical, and I think there's a setting on this lens in order to make it go vertical as well. This is nuts, bro. You see how small this lens is as an anamorphic lens? This is crazy. But I think if you watch Brandon Washington's live stream at NAB, probably like 2 days ago, this was supposed to be for like $500. Tariffs made this thing jump up to $900. So that's another thing that we're going to talk about. That's the other thing that we're going to talk about. It's the elephant in the room, and it is very, very important. Americans could pay more for these everyday basics under Trump's new tariffs. Now, let's just get into the nitty gritty. Clothing. Yo, you see this percentages, bro? The worst offenders about to be hit with the highest tariffs, including the clothing manufacturing hubs of Vietnam, China, and Bangladesh. Look what this says, bro. Look what this says. U.S. could soon see levies ranging from 34% to 46%. 34% to 46%. That's just clothes. Let's go to what we really came for, the electronics. So things like sneakers, alcohol, coffee. Yeah, right here, electronics. Electronics. Let me read this whole thing. Cell phones, TVs, and video game consoles tend to be big ticket purchases, and the latest US tariffs could make them even bigger. China, as well as Taiwan and South Korea, are all top exporters of electronics to the US. And China is going to get hit with a big tariff. I think like 34%. Almost all iPhones are made in China. Well, almost all iPhones are made in China, although some are also made in India, which too is on the worst offenders list with a 26% tariff. Samsung, meanwhile, has significant production operations in Vietnam. It's still unclear how how it's still unclear how these major tech companies will respond to the new levies. But Japanese video game company Nintendo announced on Friday that it is delaying pre-orders of its Switch 2 console, saying it needs to assess the potential impact of tariffs. I have a guess as well on that just joined. He just joined in the good part, in the nice part. Let me add him. And let me bring up his screen so both of us can see what's going on. I think a lot of my stuff changed. I ain't gonna hold you. I think
Can
a
you
whole
can you
lot of
hear me?
yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. What's up?
All
What's
right,
up, Kev?
great. Uh, Not bad, man. I'm here. I made it, and I made it alive.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. How
So
you doing, man? How you doing, though?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Chilling,
All
man.
right,
Yeah,
chilling is a good way to be.
I haven't streamed in a long time, so I just had to jump on.
All right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just the same, just the same, just
Uh,
the same.
So
Yeah.
if you
So what did I miss? What did I put? Come on, get me up to speed, quick.
okay, so I was going through like the new stuff that Black Magic came out with, like the Pixis 12K,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the new ATEM, that has like a built-in filling key, so you don't have to buy a external device like an Ultra Studio or a Deck Link, which is another $1,000. They just include it into the same unit, which is dope. Even though they charge an extra $1,000 for the new ATEM, I think it's still worth it just because you have all that stuff in there. But the thing that's lingering right now is these tariffs. And on the Blackmagic website, I've already seen the adjustment in the prices because I think that new Pixis was going to be just for $5,000. Now it's no, I think 6,000 or now it's like 7,000 and change.
Hmm.
So um, that's why I was reading this thing right here. Let me see. Let's see if I can go back. Let's share the screen. Boom. You should be able to see. Okay, let me position this properly.
Mm-hmm.
Let
I
me.
think I disappeared in the shot. Check it real quick.
Oh yeah, that's me. I gotta fix that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boom. Boom. There you go.
There you go.
All right, let me fix this screen. Yeah, so these tariffs are gonna be a big deal, especially big deal on people's pockets. Um, because you can see that you can see how much these things. Let me increase the.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, cell phone and etc. So things like the worst offenders, like all of our electronics are like made in China, India,
Mm-hmm.
Taiwan, South Korea, and etc. And those, a lot of those countries are gonna get hit with the biggest tariffs. I think China is scheduled to be hit with like a 34% tariff. You might not understand what that means, but let's go to B&H.
I'm waiting to you to further explain.
Yeah, so let's go to the red Komodo. The red Komodo. Let's say the red Komodo is
Mm-hmm.
made in China. Right now, you see the price is 3,000 dollars. Now, if you add 34% to that, let's do a quick calculation. 25. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
29.95 times 0.34. So you will be adding an extra $1,018 to the Komodo.
What?
Yeah, at a 34% tariff. So that Komodo that's $3,000 is now going to be 4,018. So that goes for everything that's made in China. So if your lenses are made in China, that if your iPhone is made in China, iPhone's going to be, it's going to be interesting what Apple is going to do this year with those iPhone prices because iPhones are made in China.
So when is this about to start? When is it about to start? When is it gonna becoming a thing?
I think tomorrow, April 9th.
Excuse me? Excuse me? What the hell? What?
Yeah.
So how am I now hearing about this?
Yeah, it's a big deal. As you see, a
Oh
lot of
man.
stuff has are reflecting the prices already. Like even the Black Magic, the Blazar. Now this
Hmm.
Blazar is reflecting the prices already because this was supposed to come out at $500. Right now it's $900. So
Wow.
yeah. So let's do the sound devices. Let's see how because sound devices was already moving up from COVID. So if this is made in China, MixPre 6 is 1,150. Now it depends on where it's made. If it's made in the US, the prices just stay the same. But not
Okay.
not necessarily. Because if they get their material from China,
From
that's
yes.
that's gonna be tariffed as well.
Yes.
So it's gonna be very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. It's I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And this is me just being as honest as for that why why China, why?
Uh, China is making too much money, so Trump wants them to pay, you know? I wonder how much the 416
Hmm.
is this made? I don't think this is made in China. I think this is made in Germany. So this might
Oh.
only be getting a 10% tariff.
Mm.
Yeah. So things like this that are made in like Germany and etc. You won't be expecting a crazy increase, but things that are made in China like your iPhone and etc. Yeah, even components.
They better start making iPhones in New York City,
Yeah,
because I mean, what are you trying to tell me that the iPhone now will be about $2,000, maybe $1,800?
maybe 1300 for the base, maybe.
I don't ever buy the base, so I'm talking about the max. The
Yeah,
max
the max is gonna be
probably gonna
probably
be
like
some.
25, 3, probably the laptop prices, bro.
Oh,
Because
wait,
remember that one terabyte? Yeah.
Max are made in China?
Yeah, all iPhones are made in China. All of them.
No, I'm talking about the laptops, the Apple
All of that
laptops.
is made in China.
Wow.
So Max, all of them things are gonna raise in price. So yeah, even your lights. I think Aperture is made in China as well. Aperture is already expensive.
So wait, what you trying to tell me? I need to go buy everything that I need to buy tonight.
Now I must say, now
Like max out my credit cards.
this is going to be it's going to be a good and bad thing because remember COVID when things were very hard to get, the secondhand market was booming
Mm-hmm.
and they hiked up prices. Now we might see the same thing happen again because the used market is going to be like on fire right now for those who are
Mm-hmm.
selling used items. And you might think that they would bring down the prices. No, they're gonna. You see all those used reds and etc. If the
Mm-hmm.
regular red goes up, the used price is gonna go up as well. FX3s, FX6s, all those things are gonna go up.
Hmm.
I think
Wow.
the probably not the FX. I think those are made in like Japan. All the Canon lenses, all those Canon premium lenses are made in Japan as well. So it won't be that high.
John, I just want to make sure. I feel like my audio cutting into yours. I don't know if there was something that I was supposed to change on Zoom. I did put the musician effect on, but is there something that I should have done again or not?
No, no, no. You sound great on my end.
Okay, I just feel like when I talk and I cutting into your voice, but
Nah, not
So
at all.
okay, great, great.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah. So yeah, those are the things. Those are the elephants in the room, man. We got new things coming, but new prices as well.
Well, all I can say is thank God that Red dropped the prices a little
Yes.
bit on a few cameras, so when they go back up, it's not gonna be that crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not the main things though. Not the they didn't drop the prices on the premiums. Like the V Raptor is still 25.
I'll send them an email and let them know that they should.
Yeah. V Raptor X is still 40.
My email probably went into spam. I don't know, but they'll get it soon. They'll check the spam.
You know what I'm afraid of though?
Oh,
I'm
talk to
afraid
me.
of Area Lexus. These guys are
Well,
gonna go up.
I'm not afraid of them because I don't plan on buying one anytime soon. So, for the people who are, I guess, wanting to buy one, I feel sorry for you. I truly feel sorry for you.
Yeah. I guess you gotta go
But for
used.
or rent it. I mean, maybe now people start renting more, because the wave now is renting. A lot of people rent. Like I have a friend of mine, I won't call you out though, but he rents more than he shoots now.
Huh?
Yeah, because every weekend I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on a shoot. I'm like, what are you doing? Some people just rented my equipment. I'm like, you not doing the shoot? No, they just using my equipment, and I'm like, okay, so. I guess renting might become the thing, man. I mean, because people might not want to spend that money, and I
That's
mean,
true.
it's a couple $100 more, but a couple $100 more is a lot. It's a
It is.
lot.
It
It's a
adds up
lot.
quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I believe so. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not renting my stuff to random people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm only rent it to people I know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that, you know what it is? I personally would not rent out my stuff. I'm sorry. Um I don't know. I just feel like people will not take care of your things the way that you would take care of it.
Mm,
So you would come back and you would be like, "Yeah, I'm ready to use my." And then when you're checking your stuff out, man, it ain't working the way it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I don't want that. I like how I left it is how I came back. I would come back and find it. That's me. And it's not that I don't trust people. I do, but I just don't trust them with my equipment.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I know how hard I worked to get it and the sacrifices I made, and they will never understand that I never treated the way that I will treat it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's understand. That's 100% understandable. Because
Mhm.
did I ever tell you the story when I first? I did not. This is the first time I rented out my Mix Pre 10.
Hmm.
My Mix Pre 10 too. So a person reached out to me on ShareGrid, said that he wanted to use my stuff for a project, like a 2-day project. I was like, sure. This is the first time I'm renting it out. So he was like, yeah, great. So he picked it up and
Mm-hmm.
shook my hand. Everything seemed fine. Now, around the time that I'm supposed to pick it up, I'm like, all right, cool. Time to pick it up. Time for me to get paid, like $500 and etc. Everything's gonna be cool. I spoke to the guy. I called him to try to get it to the meeting location, the same meeting location that I dropped it off, and he was unresponsive. So I called again,
Mm-hmm.
and he picked up the phone, and he was like, "Yeah, one of my guys, he's gonna drop it off." Now I'm like, I gave it to you. I gave it to you in a Nanook case and everything. I expect to get it back from you, but I'm kind of cool with it. So the guy brought it back. It was two guys that brought it back, and they gave it to me in a plastic bag, a torn
Mm-hmm.
up plastic bag. So I'm like, where is the rest of my stuff? And he was like, oh man, I thought this was it, and etc. I was like, no, where is the rest of thank God my wife was there with me because it was about
Mm-hmm.
to go crazy in the street. So he was like, he gave him a call and etc. And the guy that I spoke to, he was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to send the equipment or the case that it came with. And he sent the case and I had foam inside the case in order to protect the McSpree, the phone was gone. So he just sent the case empty.
What?
All right, so I'm like, cool. Let me go to the Apple store because this was in Soho, and let me
Mm-hmm.
just power it on and make sure everything is worked because it's kind of sketchy. I tried to turn on the McSpree 10, and it didn't turn on. I'm
Wow.
like, okay, let me try something else. Let me try a different battery because I might be tripping because I gave it to this guy. I've probably used it 2 times before I ever gave it to this guy. I
Mm-hmm.
tried a different battery, it didn't work. I tried the power cable, it didn't work. So I called him back. I was like, yo, bro, this don't turn on. What's going on? And he was like, yeah, man, it was giving problems when we got it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like, all right, bet. So I never saw him again. It was probably a good thing I never saw him again, but it was under warranty, and I sent it in to Sound Devices, and it covered it because I reached out to the guy in the team and I asked, was this the first time you ever used a MixPre? And they were like, yeah, we never used it before, so this was the first time. So they were putting things in the XLR ports all incorrectly and etc. And I think they damaged one of the XLR ports. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's probably the last time I would send out any of my equipment. And the MixPre 10 is not a cheap device either. I think, what is the MixPre 10? MixPre.
I think it's 16 or 1700.
MixPre 10.
About 16 or 17. Wow, 19.
$1,900. Yeah. $1,900, bro. So yeah, I will not give that out anymore. Only to people I know. I have to vet you first before. Imagine if I gave him one of the reds. That
I've seen a few people online renting out the mix pre with some Sennheiser mics for some. Now you know something. The thing is, if you primarily go in and want to like rent out and stuff like that, you know you'll have the insurance and not care too much. But if that's your
yeah.
your
If you use it as
your
well, yeah.
correct. That's the problem because I would want. What if I want to use it tomorrow and then I can't because you
Mm-hmm.
damaged it today? Then I'm gonna be upset. But honestly, if I was just renting it out, I wouldn't be too upset unless I had somebody else who wanted to rent it, and I can't rent it now because you messed it up. But you would pay for that. That's inconveniencing me. So you
Correct.
you would pay for it.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, you'd pay me for the days that it's not working, or you would pay for the damage even if I know the insurance is covering it. That's where you wouldn't know that the insurance is covering it, so that's why you would just pay for it.
Correct.
At the end of the day, listen, it is what it is. I give it to you good, give it back to me good.
Yep.
And then not to forget, we have a lot of dishonest people in this world. So
Yeah.
you can't as much as you would like to trust people, you really can like you can't just trust any and anybody and what they say, and you gotta just go by principle. Sometimes you break it, you pay it.
Correct.
Hmm.
Correct.
And if you can't afford it, don't rent it. Or if you rent it, take care of it. If you know you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, I learned my lesson. So what you been up to, man? What you been up to?
To be honest with you, I've been just working on, I want to say, audio more than anything else. Like, I've really been trying to like understand this whole dialogue and EQing and reverberation, and all the terminologies that they use, and just knowing it. So I've been just familiarizing myself with audio a little bit more. That's
Okay.
what I've been up to.
Okay. Cool.
What about
Cool.
you? I know you're always up to something, so come on.
Uh,
or you can't tell because it's like classified information right now.
nah. I mean I've been working more with like churches, different churches and whatnot. Um, so there's that part, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get better at cinematography and lighting, etc. I I'm more leaning into the motivated lighting type of setup. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that thing is the most beautiful that I've ever seen. So when light is motivating, you have like a window and etc. or a lamp, and but you blow up that, or you motivate. That's the motivated light, but you have like a key light that's has the same temperature and etc. That's yeah, that's
Correct.
uh, I'm getting more into that.
Basically, realistic lighting.
Correct, realistic. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Not like my background that just have a light blasting in the back. But
Or
hey,
mine, or
it look
mine. Yeah,
good. It look good for YouTube. It look
yeah.
good for YouTube. But yeah, but that's I guess that's the goal, You want one of the goals is to be able to light something and that, people can't really tell how you did it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's like the goal. I want to be able to light things up and have people curious as to, yo, how did he do this? Like this is cool. Just like and even like I could just apply it to photography. Like I would watch how different people lit up pictures, and I would try to figure it out. I wasn't successful all the time, but most of the times I did figure it out. Um, yeah,
And the contrast, like
yeah,
just the textures in the background,
yes,
light, dark,
yes.
light, dark, light, dark. Yeah, playing with
Well,
the.
I'm big on contrast ratio. I've been telling you this. I feel like this is a lot of people pay attention to like color balance and stuff like that. For me, it has always been contrast ratio because colors change.
Mm-hmm.
Colors will change, but you you will notice a difference in your film if your contrast ratios changes,
Mm-hmm.
because you could get a blue scene, a warm scene, or different colors. That's fine as long as your ratios contrast ratio stays the same. It looks good. That's one way to spot a cheap budget. If you
Yeah.
see the contrast ratios is going all over the place, usually that's because they use different cameras and they just trying to put scenes together. Because if you know your camera, you will understand and know what you're doing with it, but different cameras might affect that. I mean, unless you like this big time pro colorist and you just know how to put it together and fix it real good, like John. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm also experimenting with different color lighting. So like the room light or the backlight would be like warm, like a 40 or 3700 Kelvin, but the key light would
Mhm.
be like 56, and that is turning out better than I anticipated.
I guess like getting that teal and orange straight out of camera is like what that would be doing. Yeah.
No, not really, because the key light would be more daylight, but the
Hmm.
hair light and the background light in the background would be more tungsten. Uh,
Oh,
it's also creating a contrast, and the skin tones,
the colors.
yeah, and the skin tones, like dark skin tones, they like if we put everything daylight is more for like Caucasian, like whiter people,
Hmm.
but for us
Right.
it's more um warmer. But if you contrast it now, it does something. It does something. I'm experimenting with it.
No, colors definitely create contrast. Um, it you know I learned that. That's why you have colors like teal and orange.
Hmm.
People use a lot, and it's just simple as looking at the color wheel and watching the opposite colors. Like, oh wow, my mic wasn't. Yeah, it's just as simple as looking at like the color wheel
Hmm.
and watching the opposite colors, right? So if you'd find orange here, you would find teal right opposite to it. So these colors usually complement each other and create the most contrast. That's the easiest way for somebody starting up and not sure what they're doing to just try, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
mhm.
So I'm always learning, and especially coming into going more into the live stream now. When I do live stream, I'm not doing broadcast live stream. Um, you should know me by now. everyone who watches this channel, or if you're just watching this channel, I am extra with a capital E. I don't like regular stuff. So when I'm
Mm.
streaming, I'm doing full cinematic streaming. So with
All
the
right.
lighting, with the camera, even cine lenses, it just looks
Ooh.
over the top, and it's it,
Mm-hmm.
it just looks more real. So yeah, that's what I'm
Mm.
leaning more into.
Gotcha.
But yeah, oh, I also
Um,
have a video to release as well. I'm working on the video, a YouTube video about
yep.
stabilizers, but not like
Oh.
three axis stabilizers like DJI, more like the easy rig versus the ready rig and the sack saddle
Mm-hmm.
to see which looks better with handheld and walking and etc.
But for one of our upcoming streams, I won't say which one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a small short film, not short film, a short clip,
yeah,
just for you guys to test, to see, and give me a little bit of review and stuff, and what you'll think or what I could have done better. Just want to try something. Put something out there.
yes,
Yeah,
I'm with it. I'm 100% with it.
yeah, I'm with it too.
So,
It's been one of my. It's been something that I've been wanting to do like forever, and I need to stop wanting to do it and do it.
and just do it. Yeah,
So, so
that's
you guys heard it right here
yeah,
on JGS Tech that I'm gonna do
that's how you learn.
it.
That's how you learn when
keep
you hands on.
keep me accountable. That's all I gotta see.
Yes. So you've been getting
Right.
into sound a bit more, and your mic sounds good, and etc. So, which do you like more now? Sound, photography, videography? You can't like all three
Well,
because all three of
all
them are
right.
crazy
So
expensive.
I'll put them in order, right?
Yeah.
So photography will always be my first love. Always. I love photography. Like, there's nothing that any one of them could take away from me for photography. The next thing I would go put in line, I would say audio.
Really?
Um, yeah, because I always like audio. I always like music. So I always was like EQing music and stuff like that. So EQing is something that when it comes to music that I understood. But then when you come to EQing things like dialogue and when I say music, I'm not talking about like for producing. I'm referring to like you have a sound system at home and you have an equalizer and you EQ your music or in your car,
Hmm.
that's that kind of stuff. So now having to use it in video makes it a whole lot more interesting. And what makes it even more interesting is that the fact that there is so much more to do
Yeah.
and there's so much more to spend.
Yeah.
It really brings a lot of value to it. Like, it's not just a lot of people might think like, oh yeah, you have this great mic, oh yeah, you have this, oh yeah, and you have the mix pre, oh yeah, man, yeah, you good, man. Yeah. No, 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 I'm telling you guys, take it from me. No, okay. You still have to know what you're doing, and you still have to come with your A game. You still have to know the principles, the basics to getting great audio from the start. You have to lay down all the rules, and then you could get the good sound that you're looking for. So don't think you're gonna have all the money in the world and go buy it and then it's like, whoops, wow, I'm sounding great. Even just getting it into, let's say you have the mix pre, just getting it into the mix pre. How do you get it into the mix pre sounding good in the mix pre? Not when it comes out the mix pre, then I'm gonna make it sound good. So you need to know that before you even get to like post processing and all of that. If you do not know that and then you're relying on post processing, you're doing it all wrong. And maybe that's why you're spending money, like tons of dollars or upgrading every week or whatever. But having the idea, trying and knowing what you're doing, and then you would be a master at your at that craft. So for me, that's why I'm at the stage still where I am at the source because I want it to sound good at the source. Without too much being done, just paying attention to my environment for reflections, for anything that could disturb the sound, or sometimes things in the environment could enhance the sound. Because sometimes you might be in a tunnel and you filming something in a tunnel and you want that natural reverberation, you want it to come in, or you want to make the voice sound like it's coming from a distance. Yeah, then you pull the mic a little further away so it sounds like that. Or it's just knowing what you want and understanding how it's coming into your recorder, and then knowing what you're gonna do with it later. Not doing it and hoping that it sounds good when you put it on your computer because you used a mix pre or a Sennheiser mic or whatever recorder. That's not what's going to make you great. What's going to make you great is getting out there, getting it done, coming home, trying again, trying again, trying again, not blaming the gear, but working on your skill. That's it.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it any better. But I got a controversial question. Does gear matter when it comes to audio? I mean,
Of course, it definitely does. Listen. I look, man. I am not one of those that will tell you, go buy a $50 mic when I know I'm not using a $50 mic. Like, I never understood that. The people who tell you, oh yeah, now you don't need this, you don't need that, but you do see them with the upgraded stuff.
yeah.
You don't see them using the regular things like, oh yeah, and yeah, okay, cool. You use that and you can get it, or you doing that, you want it. But maybe listen, it's your money. Do what you want to do with it. If you want to buy upgraded gear that costs money and you feel like it works better for you, then go with that. Some people might use like I know people who are diehard like road fans, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
I don't, listen, I have no problem with road. I have no issues with road. I have road stuff and I feel like they work good enough. But for my taste and my style and what I like to hear, Sennheiser did it for me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, where I didn't find myself doing too much EQing, or like, even if I had to do EQ, then I was happy with just the slight adjustments. So understanding that, and once you like I said before, knowing what you want out from it, not just having it because, it's like buying a Lamborghini and you can't even shift gears. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why you have a Lamborghini and you can't switch? Like, come on, man. Like, you don't need that. Go buy you a Prius or something. Sorry, Prius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really
So,
understood
but
a lot of the YouTubers that I watch. They would say gear doesn't matter, lighting, etc., but they got an aperture. And they said camera doesn't matter, but they got an FX3 with a G Master lens. Audio doesn't matter.
mhm.
They're recommended the Fi-Fi from Amazon, but they have Sennheiser MKH50. So I'm like, something is not adding up. You're saying that it doesn't matter, but you have the best, or the top of the line gear. Something is
Mhm.
not adding up. So,
Yeah, you have to listen. What, like I said, because okay, in some situations it works. I
mm-hmm.
feel like once you get into the professional field, you you could do whatever you want at your house, man. You could have little lights. You could do just to get what you want. But imagine having equipment and then you gotta tell your client, oh sorry, that's the light there, that's the fan, it's making too much noise.
Yeah.
Just let it cool down and we'll get back to the scene because it's making too much noise right now. Nobody trying to hear that.
Yeah.
Because some people rent these places where they film and stuff and it's by the hour. Now you costing me money. You
Mm-hmm.
costing the person money because you have a cheap light that's noisy. So, knowing what you have, like I said before, and understanding and knowing your place. Knowing your place.
Yeah.
Knowing your place. Just knowing, listen, I'm taking this to another level. Going to the other level also means having stuff to take it you there. I'm sorry. Sorry.
100%.
You're not gonna build a tower with a shovel. You're not. You're gonna need tractors now.
Hmm.
You're gonna need bulldozers to break down buildings. You're not gonna break it down with an axe, yeah, because it's a bigger building. So just knowing your place, knowing your place.
It's not saying you can't. You can, but it's just going to take a very long time and a lot of skill. Just like a lot of people that are saying they shot a Hollywood film with an iPhone. Yes, doesn't mean you can't, but does it mean you should? Does that mean no? They had a whole team. There wasn't a one person doing the whole film, and they had a whole lot of lighting, and there was a lot of controlled space. A lot of controlled space. That's the key thing. So you can drink the Kool-Aid if you want, but these people know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
If I like it, I buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you like me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what's
man.
next for you? Like what's that? I mean, you don't really have to change that SM7B, but I know you're looking for a different sound. So
Um, but I'm working with it for now. It's doing the job right here, right now for
correct.
what I want to do it. But I also want to record vocals for singers and stuff. I want to get into that a little bit. As to what I'm gonna get next, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. That one I can. I have to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get next. I'm thinking about it though. I'm in the lane of I'm thinking, but because I've seen people record really good stuff with Show SM7Bs, and
Correct.
which is crazy.
Hmm.
So I kind of want to challenge myself a little bit, and then if I see any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of hindrance where I feel like I cannot accomplish something, or I after trying and trying, it's just I'll try something else.
Hmm.
Probably try changing what I'm using, but for now I feel like I'm on the right path. Like I'm doing okay, doing
Yes.
okay. And like you said, it's been coming a long way, man. Remember that
Hmm.
first start? I had my Rode NTG5 mic,
Yeah.
and which headphones I had? I think I had the Audio Technica, man. I was and nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I was popping.
That's what it was. That's what it's all about. But
I was podcasting that night, man. It was a Saturday night. I ain't gonna never forget that, man.
but for your
And
first
I
podcast,
came,
it sound good.
yeah, I came. I said, John, why my voice sound like it going in and out like that, And now I know. But everything. And like I said before, like I tried it. Look. I'll be honest. This is the perfect example that I'm telling the truth, and I'm practicing what I'm saying. I I said to John, "Why gonna buy another mic? I have a mic already."
Hmm.
And I was like, "Well," he's like, "What you have a mic?" I gotta say, "I have a Rode NTG5, man. That bike is the best. It does everything." And I came on and I listened to it. I was like, "Oh man, jeez." Uh,
It's a
What's
good
going
mic,
on?
but it
Yeah,
wasn't for the right job.
correct.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, nah, this is. I tried a couple times. I'm like, nah, this is not it. This is definitely not it. So, and then I went on, and then I think after that, yeah, I did come straight to the show SM7B, and since then it's been fine.
Yep.
And I have to admit, I had the Roadcaster with that. Once again, guys, I ain't bashing nobody. The Roadcaster is an excellent
Hmm.
um um
It's a good
uh
device.
device, yes, but was I getting what I wanted from it? No, I wanted more. I wanted to be able to hear myself live, and I wanted more buttons. I wanted more EQing. I wanted more functionality. So I should I don't think I should, I'll leave I'll leave y'all guess into what I went to. Put in the comments what do you think I'm using right now, and we'll let y'all know if you got it right. But what I can tell you, it's not a Roadcaster.
It's not a
It's
roadcaster.
definitely not
Definitely
no.
not a roadcaster.
That's it. It's not the one. It's not the two. It's not the duo. So I'll give you guys maybe a few guesses, and in the next time we meet, we could tell you what it was.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
it's one thing to be wary of. You kind of know it because you're a professional photographer and videographer or cinematographer. You won't be tied down to one microphone. So
Yeah.
the more you learn and etc. Like I shoot red, but that's not the only camera I use. I would use a Sony. I would use a Canon. It just depends on the situation. That's the same thing when it comes to the microphone. Now, when I started out, I started with a SM7B, and then I went directly to the Neumann. And you would think that would be the last mic that I ever purchased, and you would be wrong. You would be completely wrong, because I ended up buying 5 more microphones. 5 more not boom microphones, podcast microphones. They're just different microphones for different voices and etc. So now I can sit in a conversation, and if you're talking to me about you want to start a podcast, I can just listen to your voice and I can tell you which microphone would fit your voice or would better suit your voice.
And once again, that comes from experience, which
Yeah.
is what yeah,
Yeah.
trial and error, working it out. Yeah, and that's I believe I'm a firm believer in that, man. You gotta try it out. You gotta try it out, because I remember there was one time I was even really happy with the wireless Go. I'm like, and though they were great sounding mics, but after I tried the Sennheiser ones, then I'm like, wow. And note guys, the difference here is not the transmitter, it's the mics.
The preamps.
Yeah, it's the mics. It's the what they call them, the Sennheiser MKE2 or ME2, one of the MKE or ME2, one of them. These little lavs are like
Yeah.
they're good.
I mean, that's
They're just so versatile.
that's what I use a lot on the lavs on the Rode Wireless Pros. That's what I
Yeah.
use a lot. MK2.
Oh, to answer your question, that's actually what I'm trying to really perfect and get better at. I'm really trying to master the live game, because I think I want to try laving people up, especially to shoot. Um, yes, have a boom mic, but because these laughs sound so good nowadays,
They do.
especially for dialogue, man. For dialogue, come on.
They do.
So
I'm gonna get a DPA. A DPA.
yeah, pick one up for me too.
Oh, the tariffs. Let me see how much they cost now. Oh my gosh. Is it DPA 60? 60? Yeah. How much is that microphone? That lav. Oh, okay. It's still 720. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go up or go down. I mean, it was already expensive. Yeah. I haven't bought it yet. I don't know when I'm gonna buy it, but I'll let you try it.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I will. I don't know if I'm pretty content right now with the Sennheiser, and I'll tell you why. Because it's industry standard. I'll be honest with you, and that's enough for me. If I know the pros use it and they do good stuff with it, I'm gonna give it a try. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like the pros use it, the pros are happy with it. I might as well give it a try.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my technique at this point, but I've been getting some really good results, man. I've been getting some really good results.
I don't know if the DPA is flatter sounding. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people are running to. I mean, I don't know what it is.
No, it's more expensive, and people think people equate more expensive with better.
Yeah.
That's what I think. They think that all right, it's cost more money, so it might just be better, and that could be me.
Yeah. I mean, I can always
Yeah.
get it from B&H and then return it if I don't like it.
Of
I do wanna
course.
test it against the MKE and the
Yep.
Sanken Cos 11D.
Yep, definitely try it for yourself and see, how it sounds, and if you like it, I'm for it,
Yeah. If you like it, I love it. I won't hold you because I know we got other things to do, but yeah, this is.
I'm gonna tell me if you can hear this, John. Can you hear this?
I can.
All right, sweet. I was just making look. You see why? That's why I upgraded.
Yeah.
Yo, this is cool, man. Anyway, yeah, but it's always a pleasure, John. Coming on and chatting with you, man. This is good. This is good. This is good. It keeps me thinking. Like when I leave here, I'm gonna be thinking about what am I gonna buy? No, I'm kidding.
No.
It keeps me thinking like, like there's other people out there that's pushing as hard as I am
Hmm.
to learn this thing. And I feel like it's like a never ending journey.
It sure is.
There's especially with technology now, the way things are coming out and just I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think you need
So
to
yeah.
buy anything more because I'm not buying anything more, especially when it comes to
I
microphones.
am not. I am not buying. Look. The only thing I'll be honest. The only thing I really want is an indoor mic. I need an indoor mic.
You need two.
You need to.
I'm telling you, you need two.
I need but for now, I'm still working. I'm still listen, man. I'm saying here again. I'm still working on using my MKE2s.
Hmm.
Let's see what I can get from that. I really want to see if I can get some good sounding audio from this, man. Like just you know what I'm saying? Like just pushing them to the limit and getting the best sound possible out from it. And you know what I mean.
Yeah, as long as your room is treated and etc. Depending on what you're going for,
Yeah.
because if you're going for more the live sound, the environment and etc.,
Hmm.
leave it up to post. As long as you put it into the mix pre, get that nice clean
Hmm.
preamps and etc. Leave it up to post. You won't have to do too much, but your post skills will definitely kick in a couple of times.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
you coming through. We got
So
to do this again very soon.
okay.
All right. So,
All right.
so thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, that's about it for right now. Tariffs. That's one takeaway from this. Um, use what you have for right now. Yes, we do have professional gear, but that's after we used our regular gear and drove it through the mud, and then we realized that we're not getting what we wanted from our gear our existing gear. So that's when we upgraded and did more tweaks, and now we're sounding pretty good and we're kind of satisfied. Kinda. I say kinda. There's always going to be levels to climb and etc. But for right now, we're pretty satisfied. I have more tweaking to do. Kev has more tweaking to do. If you're a true cinematographer, sound person, lighting person, there's always more things to learn, and you will always learn from different people and etc. Yeah. But other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so you guys can be notified by the next things I'm dropping and the next things I'm doing and etc. I have a video to drop about that. The SAC. What is it? It's a stabilizer. I don't know. It's something that goes around your shoulder, so your camera shake won't be that bad. And I'm comparing that against the Easy Rig as well as the Ready Rig. Now the Ready Rig, I got the Nimbus crossbar, and I can tell you that thing is pretty comfortable. It's more comfortable than the other two things, especially for a heavier camera rig. So I can't wait to see the footage as well and share it with you guys. So yeah, stay tuned. Other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.